Hello everyone, welcome to Strategic Marketing Management lecture series. My name is Nuresh Eranda. Today we are going to do our lesson number 3, which is about marketing environment analysis. So this is the outline. First, we will talk about marketing environment definition and its classification. Next, macro environment, all the perspectives. Then marketing environment relationship, strategies to adapting to the environment, and how to avoid strategic drift through marketing. Finally, the new role of marketer in the volatile business environment. So this is a kind of classification of the marketing environment that you may have even seen from other courses as well. So the inner circle includes the organization, then it is surrounded by the microenvironment, which consists of all the stakeholders. So in this case, I includes customers, suppliers, distributors, competitors, and all the other stakeholders, even government, pressure groups, local community. So you can include all the stakeholders there. The last layer is macro environment, all the perspectives. So we will be discussing it shortly. So this is the explanation and even the categorization of the marketing environment. So marketing environment basically consists of the actors and forces. What do you mean by actors? So those are the stakeholders which are influencing the organization as well as influenced by the organization. Forces means basically all the factors, the external factors, little bit broader factors which affect the organization's marketing activities. So both of these actors and the forces are influencing the organization's ability to meet its customer requirements or in creating customer value. So if you go to the classification, the first one under the marketing environment is micro environment. So even I listed out what it consists earlier. So it consists of all the stakeholders who are close by to the organization. So there even the company is part of it because the organization internal environment comes under the micro environment, which mostly consists of your employees and managers and all the other internal stakeholders. And you have suppliers, marketing intermediaries, those who are distributing your products, competitors, and the publics. So we are trying to discuss this micro environment in other chapters. So because of that, we are not going to concentrate on micro environment in detail in this lesson. So the focus of this lesson is on macro environment. So those are the larger broader factors which are really affecting your microenvironment. So it consists of all the perspectives, political, economic, social and cultural, as well as the technological factors. So I must tell you some of the books they refer it to perspectives, but some have extended it to some other components as well, like slept, like pestle, steeple. So whatever it is, basically the core component consists of these main broader 4 factors. So this is where the strategy comes in. So even I explained this one in the very first lecture. What I told, strategy is a kind of a linkage between the organization and the environment. So because of this, you can see without talking about an organization's environment, it is very hard to talk about what the meaning of strategy is, because strategy is trying to link the organization internal environment with its external or the outside environment. So strategy is basically the linkage between these two parts. So the internal or the organization consists of your vision, mission, and all of your capabilities. For example, you have marketing capabilities, research and development capabilities, the structure of the organization, what kind of systems are there, and what kind of corporate culture available. So these are the internal factors. The external one, I put it pest factors, industry environment, your competitors, your customers, your suppliers. So you can see their environment mainly consists of the pest factors as well as all the other stakeholder parties. So what we can see here, strategy is basically trying to link the two. So we'll begin with the pest classification. The first one is political environment. So please remember that what is really important for you to understand here, uh, when we talk about political factors, it is not only familiarizing with the changes in politics in the country or in the whole world. What we need to understand as marketing students is how these environmental factors are influencing your organization's marketing activities. Or in other words, what are the implications of the environmental changes for your organization? So thinking in that line, we will start to talk about the political factors. So there's an increase in business legislations today. So these legislations are increasing with different purposes. To protect companies even from unfair competition, which is available everywhere. To protect your consumers even from unfair business practices, unethical business practices, and so on. To protect the interest of your society from all the unethical activities, and also to charge businesses with the social cost. If as an organization, if you have done some social cost to the society or even environmental cost, that organization should be charged with that particular social cost. Because of the organization, the society is sometimes get affected. A lot of areas of legislations are also coming out in the whole world. The competition, there are a lot of new regulations, product safety and liability, fair trade practices all over the world, credit practices from the banking sector and the financial sector. A lot of areas of new rules and regulations are coming out. Not only that, there is increased emphasis on ethics and social responsibility activities by organizations. So some organizations have taken ethics and the social responsibility as a kind of a competitive tool as well. Emergence of special interest groups, or we can shortly call it as pressure groups, they are also part of the political environment. So please don't think that the political environment consists of your country's government only. No, it consists of pressure groups as well, because they also have a kind of politics to play in the society. Growth of the plural sector, we'll talk about that after some time. Plural sector, which is very important for the world at the moment. So this is the findings, or the book basically written by the Henry Mintzberg, one of the greatest strategists in the world. So he has written this book called Rebalancing the Society. So here there are three pillars for a balanced society as per his findings. Mainly, right now, what we really know is the private sector, which is running the economic aspect of the country or in the whole world sometimes, and the public sector. Public sector is basically they are the one playing the political role, developing rules and regulations in the society. And between these two, you have another very important party called the plural sector or the social sector. So this is basically includes non-governmental organizations, we call it NGOs, non-profit organizations, NPOs, and even the cooperative societies. So right now what we can see, these plural sector organizations are having a very high power in the world, and even a lot of NGOs, NPOs, and cooperative sector organizations are gaining some economic power as well as some political power. So what the Henry Mintzberg is telling here, we need to have a very nice combination of all three sectors for a very good balanced society. So which is a very important contribution that Henry Mintzberg has made under the political environmental changes. Then economic environment. These are some of the modern dynamics in the economic environment: increasing income disparity in all over the world. Social market economies are also getting popular in the developing countries, even in Sri Lanka, where the social market economy is all about, you have the capitalism, you have the private sector playing a bigger role, but it is all the time governed or controlled by the government as well. So that is a social market economy. So you have the private sector and the public sector at the same time operating in an economy. Emerging markets becoming very powerful in the world, countries like China, India. I think even after this COVID-19, most of the economic and the political powers are shifting from the Western countries to the Asian countries. And the regional economic integration is also happened in the past, but right now what we can see is a kind of a disintegration. Very good example is the Brexit, where the British exit from the European Union. So these are some new developments. Integrations as well as disintegrations are happening. Expansion of the middle class segment. The middle class segment is having a high income generation because of the highest industrialization in the world. Global population dynamics. I will show some examples later for this one. Particularly if you take the Sri Lankan context, what we are experiencing is an inflationary economy, depreciation of our rupee value compared to the American dollar, balance of payment issues because we don't have an increase in our export portfolio compared to our increase in the imports, increasing interest rates mainly in the finance and the banking sector. So this is a kind of outlook of the economic environment. Then better as marketers you pay your attention to the business cycle as well. This is a very brief or a kind of a short explanation on the relationship between the time and the national output growth rate or the economic growth rate. So there you can see this particular relationship between these two is not a linear relationship all the time. So it has some kind of recessions, it has some boom, and then you just coming down your economic performance, and then once again a depression and then recovery. So here you can see, if you are in a boom economy, things are going on well for you as well as for the society. Consumers are spending, output capacity is reached in organizations, labor shortages are occurring even there because everyone has got a job there. So labor shortage is experienced by the organizations. We don't have many people to recruit to your organization. Investment spending is high, business revenue is going up. So it's a very good appearance even for the society as well as for the organizations. But when you are in a kind of recession, you can see in here, recessionary economy, consumption decline, investments are coming down, production, employment, revenue, everything is going down. So it is not a good time even for marketers as well as for the consumers. Recovering is where you are going away from the depression or a recessionary economy. So consumer spending is rising, investments are rising, production rising, employment rising, final revenue also rising. So today, if you take this COVID-19 time that we are experiencing, I think we are coming down to a kind of a depression, a huge depression in the world, where marketers, even all the other managers, have to be very much innovative in their thinking from here onwards. So what I want to highlight in here, based on the stage that you are in the business cycle, your marketing strategy should be very much changing. For example, when you are in a depression economy, the strategies that you are using, you cannot use that in a boom economy. So your strategies have to be changed according to the business cycle stage. The World Economic Pyramid. So this is a little bit of a old picture. So sorry for that. I couldn't get the updated one here. So here I just want to compare the annual per capita income in the world versus the population in millions. More than 20,000 American dollar people. How many are living in the world? Only 75 to 100 million. The second tier or the middle tier, 2,000 to 20,000 US dollars, 1,500 to 1,750 million people are living. But here the misery or the really the unfortunate thing is the lowest tier in the pyramid, or we call it bottom of the pyramid market, so which is less than 1,500 US dollars. The amount is 4,000 million people. So this is the issue in the world. Most of the people are still living at a very lower income. But from a marketing perspective, this is a kind of opportunity actually that we have to capture. Because now when the countries are developing, what is really happening? The people with the very low income, they are moving from this lower tier income to the middle tier. From fourth place to number 2 and 3, they are going to shift. Now when you are shifting your income from one category to another category, there are a lot of changes in the lifestyle is taken place. When the lifestyle is changing, there are a lot of opportunities for the marketers to capitalize. For example, when the people are moving from bottom of the pyramid market to the middle market, what is happening here? People tend to go for branded products where the marketers can capitalize that market very nicely with your innovative strategies. So economic crisis and marketing, the reason why I want to talk this one today is because we are moving towards a crisis situation with the COVID-19 incident. So here what is happening, consumer behavior during economic crisis is not that good. What is happening, their value than the luxury products we need as consumers. We want to save money, we want to buy products which are lasting longer, little bit higher quality. But what we buy is well-made basic products at a little bit of a cheaper price. So that's your consumer behavior. And marketers are basically interested in where here. They try to reduce the cost of your operations as much as possible. Sometimes unnecessary cost we can reduce. We can reduce the wastage by improving the efficiency of the organization. And also brand development based on the trust is very important during economic crisis, because trust is everything, even for you as well as for the customers in economic crisis. So these are some further marketing strategies which are suitable for economic crisis situation. Cost-effective ways you can use to reach your target market. Online marketing becoming very popular right now in this COVID-19 time. Social media and email marketing is getting a very high prominent place. CRM, customer relationship management, very important. Your customers are seeking for relationships. Blue ocean strategy, what is this? Blue ocean strategy is all about trying to find out a unique position in the marketplace rather than just competing with your competitors on a price basis. So this price basis competition, we call it as red ocean strategy. So don't fall into that trap. What is important, you try to position your product very differently from the competition, and we call it a blue ocean strategy. Focus on CSR. If you have some money, try to contribute something towards the society, something towards the environment, because people will remember you if you are helping the community. in the bad times. So when the good times comes back, they will definitely come back to you and they will buy from you. Highlight the value of the product rather than cutting the prices. So highlight the quality, highlight your customer service rather than just cutting prices. Because when you are cutting prices, there is another message going to their mindset. What is that? When you cut price, your quality is obviously going down in the minds of the customer. So you have to avoid that aspect as well. Identify which market segments not to target. Don't go for all the market segments in a crisis situation. Try to be focused. Try to do what you are really capable of doing rather than going for everything. Acquire weak competitors. So if your financial performance is still good, try to search for some opportunities where the weak competitors are having some issues. So try to capture them, try to buy them if you can do. Marketing mix strategy for economic crisis situation. Product strategy, what you can do. You cut weak products, unnecessary things, flank brands, go with another brand to reach the low end market and try to protect your premium brand. Augment with warranties, give the warranties to increase the customer confidence. Adaptive positioning for different segments, different positioning if possible. Pricing, improve quality while maintaining the price. Very important. Don't reduce the prices because, as I told you earlier, it implies that your quality is going down. Reduce price while maintaining the quality. So quality is the key. Maintain that. Consider product life cycle pricing. Each and every life cycle stage has its own pricing strategy. So try to follow that. Promotion, go for social media, go for internet based advertising. Expert endorsements, very important. Advisory tone, rather than going for a kind of a very attractive sort of advertisement, advisory tone would be really important for customers in a crisis. Customer loyalty programs, train your salespeople to handle objections. A lot of objections are there in economic crisis. Distribution, unnecessary dealers, try to remove. Search for alternative channels. Try to think about online distribution channels as much as possible, which is cost effective and which you can use to reach your target market very efficiently. So we'll move into a social and cultural environment next. So I have to begin with saying that there is a big diversity in this social and cultural environment. Different languages, different religions, values are different, caste systems are different. If you take a country like India, so many castes are still existed. Habits are different, so there's a big diversity. So you have to embrace this diversity when if you are a good marketer. At the same time, there are so many trends in the demographic environment. Decline in population growth rate in most of the countries, particularly in the developed world. Population age mix changes are there. So later I will show you some examples for aging population. Ethnic markets are becoming very popular. Educational groups, which means those who have studied in the university, once they graduated, after 2-3 years time they are forming their own group of friends using the social media, and thereafter they are communicating with each other. They try to have the same lifestyle among them. So educational groups is playing a bigger role in the modern economy. Household patterns are changing. The way people are eating is changing. Eating habits are changing. So many changes are there. Changing role of women. You can see the career woman today. Women are playing a bigger role in the economy by contributing to earn the income. Global super society, or you can call it elite market. So this is the richest market in the globe or in the world. So this segment is also improving or enhancing in the world. So these are some trends in the demographic environment. So this is a good picture to see the aging population. So you can see in 1990, ratio of workers to pensioners. To have your grandmother or the grandfather, there were 6 people helping to feed her, to take care of her in 1990. But 2000, what has happened? The grandmother or grandfather is taken care only by 4 people. Sad story, 2025. Within another 5 years' time, what is going to happen? Two people have to take care of one grandparent. So it's a very big burden sometimes for most of the people who are living in a kind of a cosmopolitan lifestyle. So this is happening whether we like it or not. So what I want to highlight here, there are so many marketing implications behind this. For example, when you have a big elder population, what are the products and services they need? Lot of healthcare, lot of elder homes are needed. So this is happening. There are new marketing aspect is going through underline this aging population thing. Now that's what you need to understand as marketers. You need to know aging population is happening, but how aging population is influencing your marketing career? That's the interesting question. Look, insurance companies have a very big opportunity right now because of the aging population. Some further changes, better education, more white collar workers, more professional population is everywhere in the world now. Health and obesity concerns, people are really concerned about these too. Number of gymnasiums are increasing all over the world. Geographical shifts in the population. People are trying to come to the urban areas. And another very important thing is behavioral changes of the new generations. You may have heard about Generation X, Generation Y, Generation Z. So Generation Y, so what is their nature? So they seek opportunity to shape their own brand preferences and share them with others. So they are more sharing with other people. So they require highly creative marketing approaches if you want to reach that market. But you see Generation Z, we call it centennials, those who have born after 2000. So these people are very inquisitive, very courageous and creative. They prefer online kind of shopping experience compared to the X generation and Y generation. So you can see the when the new generations are adding up to the population, their behavior is very different. So as a marketer, you need to target to that particular behavioral change. Some further changes, new ways of living, growing non-family households, people who are living in urban areas, they are not like families, they may be boarding houses, they may be the students who are studying in a particular university, but even after graduating, you may be sometimes living with your friends after for some time until you come to a kind of a little bit higher stage in your career. So growing non-family household is something which is going on in uh, Sri Lanka as well as from a global perspective. Increasing single households, we call it single tons, everywhere this is happening. Working females, we discussed earlier. Boomerangs is kind of younger people who want to remain at home. Sometimes there is a kind of a segment now available. It's like they moved away from their parents, they moved away from their hometown some time back. Now they are coming back to their hometown due to many reasons. Particularly, they are coming back to the hometown because of the work stress, work life balance issues. So you look at the marketing implications behind this. There are so many marketing opportunities are there when you think about these social, cultural, environmental changes. Moving from there to technological environment, new communication technologies, mainly social media is flooding all over the world. Cloud computing, alternative energy sources. So just go and check the organization Tesla, how they are basically changing the whole automobile industry in the world. So they are redefining the automobile industry with new alternative energy sources. Nano and biotechnology very important right now because of the scarcity of natural resources. The smart mobile robotics, you may have seen during the COVID-19 time, robotics are playing a huge role because we want to maintain this social distance, or we want to maintain the physical distance. So when you are maintaining the physical distance, robotics are very important to serve the patients. Artificial intelligence is playing a huge role in many organizations to do innovations, to reduce your cost of the operations, and even to streamline your supply chain practices. So many technological environmental changes are happening. So I invite you, just try to copy each of these environmental change into your Google, and try to read more on each of these aspects, and you can learn a lot by doing that. Social networking, which is very important, as I told you earlier, the whole world is becoming like an online community, and you are sharing your ideas and thoughts with everyone. Social media affects the marketing a lot. I think the COVID-19 has shown this example very nicely. You can receive feedback about your products and the strategies very immediately. Customers are even helping you to build up your brands through putting likes, or sometimes they may go even tell the dislikes as well. But as an innovative marketer, you should be able to capture the likes from the customers as much as possible. Marketing becomes very conversational in nature because customers can have a big voice now. Low-cost social media marketing campaigns are there. So you can see social networking has influenced a lot on marketing. Look at YouTube. So many changes are happening. You can, put your advertisements very easily at a very low cost about your products and services, which can capture a huge marketplace. Natural environment also we should talk nowadays. Growing awareness and concern for the environment. People talk a lot on this as well because of the huge environmental changes happening around us. Climatic changes are there in the whole world, and you may have seen even in the COVID-19 time. I think environment has got a very favorable result. So many scientists are telling that even in bigger cities or mega cities like Mumbai in India, the amount of CO2 has reduced. So there are so many good things are happening. Next is protecting the resources, because resources are becoming very scarce, mainly these natural resources. Environment issues have impacts on your marketing activities a lot. Organic things, organic food is also becoming very important nowadays to have a healthier life. So natural environment, now people are paying attention. So this is an example from Sri Lanka, a Greenfield Bio Plantation, which is a kind of a social entrepreneurship movement. So they are mainly producing, environmental friendly and eco-friendly certified or organic fair trade tea, fruits and spices. Where for these kind of initiatives, there's a huge market in the Western world. So these are good movements, even are going ahead in most of the developing countries. So as creative marketers, this is what we need to do. People talk about these ethical practices, these organic things a lot. There is a big market to buy these products. Even these products are a little bit expensive than the conventional products. So try to invest if the marketers are having the skills and capacity and the resources. So this is like External environment analysis basically leads to identify the opportunities and threats. So what I have pointed out in this table is the first column in external factor, economic, legal and technology I just put here, and how each of these factor, for example, economic factor can create opportunities as well as the threats. So if I just focus on the economic factor here, kind of opportunity from the economic factor, recovery in the business cycle. Now, for example, COVID-19 is existed now. We are in a kind of recessionary economy. But after another 1 or 2 years time, if we can solve this problem, and in that case, there is a recovery. And that time the people will spend more. Organizations would be moving faster. So that's a kind of opportunity. Increasing consumer income, if the country is doing really well, we can experience that. But economic environment can create threats as well. Unfavorable foreign exchange rate, obviously, which is not good for some organizations. Legal aspect, reduction of trade barriers in attractive foreign markets. So if you are trying to enter into a foreign market, and in that foreign market, if there is the trade barriers, we call it tariff and non-tariff barriers, if these barriers are reduced, it's good for the organization. But whereas increased regulation of product quality standards, if that happens in your target country, which is a kind of a threat for you. Technological changes, technological breakthroughs enable innovation. Very good. So it's a good innovation opportunity for you to come up with good products and services, but it creates threats as well. Competitors have achieved economic gains by saving cost using new technology. So competitors, if they gain the advantage of a new technology, then it is a threat for you. So here I want to point out the relationship between the marketing and the environment. So I am asking a question. Why do marketing managers care about factors in the external environment? So the answer I put in 2 points. Why we need to care about the environmental changes as marketers? Because environment creates uncertainty for marketing managers. So we have to, the environment creates a lot of uncertainties that we have to respond. Number two, coming from actually number one, marketing managers must respond by designing their strategies to adapt to the environment. So in number one, uncertainty is created. So number two, we have to respond to this uncertainty using our creative marketing skills. So this is a kind of a nice picture to show where the world is right now. So you can see in this figure that so if you just go to the horizontal axis, number of factors in organization environment, and actually number of factors means how many things are changing in the world. So today so many things are changing. The number of factors changing are very high. Rate of change in factors in environment, how fast the environment factors are changing. So today there is a huge change. The change rate is very high. So what we are experiencing right now, high situation, which ultimately leads to high uncertainty. Very uncertain the business environment is. So when the environment is uncertain, that's our number one in the very first slide, in the earlier slide. So when the environment is uncertain, what we need to do as marketers, we need to adapt to that environment. Otherwise, we are going to fail. So what kind of strategies that we can use for this adaptation? When you adapt into the environment, boundary spanning roles, you have to go beyond your right now boundary. You have to go to innovative things. So marketing people, what you can do, work with customers to find out new product ideas, go for innovations, go beyond the organization boundary and go and do the innovations. Number two, inter-organization partnerships, collaboration is very important, because today you cannot do things alone. It's very complicated. You don't have resources, the competencies, the skills are not enough to do things alone. Go and do things in a collaborative manner. And for that, mergers and strategic alliances are also available, and marketers and even Top level managers are very concerned on mergers and strategic alliances at the moment. So this is another kind of model to understand the world right now. So here you see the horizontal axis I provided probability of the event occurring, and here you see effect of the event on the company. So effect can be either favorable or it can be unfavorable. Probability of happening, whether the event will happen or not. So high means high probability is there. So here I focus on two things. We'll take this condition, utopia. So here it's all about probability of the event occurring is high and there is a favorable impact. So it's a really good situation, and we have to think about how to exploit these kind of situations. If the event is definitely going to happen, and if the event is really favorable for us, we should capitalize. So this is a kind of a good opportunity for us. And then for talk about, you focus on this as well, a danger situation where the effect is unfavorable but probability is really happening. So it's like COVID-19, unfavorable situation, but it is happening now. So it's a very dangerous situation. So we have to think about how to defend ourselves from these kind of situations. So I invite you to think about other three as well. So the explanation and the explanation for each of these situation is just provided here. So I invite you to go through these five stages or five positions and think about where your organization is going to position and how you are going to react to each of these situations. So, how to avoid the strategic drift through marketing strategy? Strategic drift is what? Strategic drift is all about we are not in a position to be in line with the environmental changes. So that's basically the drifting situation. We are moving forward, but we are not moving in line with the environmental changes. So if I tell you some of the strategic drift situations in the world, for example, in the business world particularly, you may remember the Nokia situation. Nokia, they were a giant organization, but what happened? They were not moving in line with the changes in the technology of the world, so they were drifted. Kodak is also drifted, so they couldn't move up with the new digital technology and they fail. So how you can avoid this kind of strategic drifting? What is the contribution from marketing? So undertake transformational change in line with the changes in the environment. Marketing people have to make upper hand in the change initiatives. Blue ocean strategy we discussed earlier also. Try to find out your unique position in the marketplace. Don't try to do what others are doing. Try to position yourself in a very unique manner in the world. Sustaining enthusiasm in the marketing team, because people factor is very important. Try to make sure that you have good people with the enthusiasm. Encourage resilience. Try to be a little bit flexible. Try to keep the bureaucracy, which is very important. So try to move from a kind of a mechanistic organization structure to an organic organization structure where you can be much more flexible. So this is what the marketing people can do. They can contribute. And then to do this, now you are in a volatile business environment, and what is the new role that we need to play? So we are in 2020. COVID-19 is surrounded by us. Right? So it's everywhere. So how we can be really innovative in this difficult time? Develop a sense and respond marketing mindset. So you cannot just wait. You have to respond very quickly. You have to sense things very quickly than your competitors are doing. Initiate subtle combination of hard and soft elements. Soft element of the people is very important. So try to bring it out. Try to improve the leadership. Try to improve the relationship with the all the stakeholders. That soft element is very important to be a good marketer at the end of the day. Next one is paradox navigation. What is it? You have to accept, you have to explore, you have to deal with inevitable tensions. Tensions are everywhere. Now COVID-19 has created a lot of tensions for all of us. But we have to deal with that. If we can deal with that properly, the people will win. Facilitate to respond to business context changes. You train everyone. Context change. So try to train the people to be responsive for those changes. Finally, begin paradigm adjustments in your marketing. Think about marketing from a very different perspective. Relationships, one-to-one marketing, customer lifetime value. Try to help them in this particular difficult time if you are a good marketer, because they will remember that you will be helping them in your difficult time. Customer share, try to capture as much as possible. Personalization, try to go for customized solutions for your customers. Database marketing is really possible nowadays because of the emergence of this artificial intelligence and the big data concepts. Right. Now the summary. So what we have discussed in this lesson. So marketing environment we define and we put the classification, and then we move to macro environment and we discuss these four elements. Please remember that it is not about knowing these four elements. What you need to know as marketing students, how these environmental changes are creating implications for marketing. That's the important part. Marketing environment relationship strategies that you can adapt to the environment. I think we listed out very innovative strategies, so try to read more on those. Avoiding strategic drift through marketing. What is the contribution that marketers can do to avoid the strategic drifting? The new role of the marketer in the volatile business environment. So I invite you, particularly in this difficult time during this COVID-19 time, try to think about the marketer's role from a new perspective. Try to read on that. There are so many materials are available in the internet. So this is my contact information. If you have any comment or any further clarification you need, then please feel free to send me an email as well. So thank you for listening to this lesson, and then we will try to meet you very soon from our next lesson as well. So have a good day.